3 years felt like a lifetime of promises. Every morning started with a message from Olivia Carter, and every night ended with plans for our future. Wedding venues, guest lists, flowers, and music filled almost every conversation. I believed nothing could break the life Olivia Carter and I had built together. One Saturday afternoon, my phone rang. "Are you still coming for dinner?" Grace Brooks asked. "I'll be there in 20 minutes. Don't forget the dessert." "Already bought it." "Good." Olivia Carter sounded excited yesterday. "I can't wait to see everyone." Grace Brooks laughed. "Maybe next year. Everybody will celebrate your anniversary instead of your engagement." "I hope so." I smiled during the drive. Life finally felt stable. Dinner was warm, loud, and comfortable. Grace Brooks kept teasing me about becoming a married man. "Don't panic when Olivia Carter starts decorating every room." "I won't." "You will." "No chance." Grace Brooks pointed across the table. "Practice saying yes." "I already say yes enough." "Exactly my point." Everyone laughed. Later that evening, I walked Olivia Carter to the car. "I had a great time," I said. So did Olivia Carter. "When should we meet tomorrow?" Olivia Carter hesitated. "I'm not sure. You already promised brunch." "I know. Everything okay?" "Just tired. Work again." Something like that. I reached for Olivia Carter's hand. "If anything is wrong, tell me." "I will." The answer sounded soft, but something felt different. I ignored the feeling. The next few days became strangely quiet. Good morning texts arrived later than usual. Phone calls became shorter. Video chats suddenly ended after only a few minutes. Every excuse sounded reasonable, yet every excuse left another question inside my mind. One evening my phone vibrated. My heart expected another loving message. Instead, I read a single sentence. Asterisk. "I need some time to think." Asterisk. I stared at the screen. My fingers refused to move. Finally, I called. No answer. I called again. Nothing. Another message appeared. Asterisk. "Please don't make this harder." Asterisk. I typed quickly. Asterisk. "Did something happen?" Asterisk. No reply. Asterisk. "Did I do something wrong?" Asterisk. Silence. Asterisk. "Can we at least talk?" Asterisk. Still nothing. I sat on my couch until midnight, reading the same messages again and again. The apartment suddenly felt empty. The engagement ring receipt rested inside my desk. The wedding folder remained open beside my laptop. Everything looked normal. Nothing felt normal. The following morning, Noah Bennett knocked on my apartment door. "You look terrible." I barely slept. "What happened?" I handed my phone to Noah Bennett. Noah Bennett read every message before looking back at me. "This doesn't sound like Olivia Carter." "I know." "Did both of you argue?" "No." "Money problems?" "No." "Family issues?" "No." "Then why ask for time?" "I wish I knew." Noah Bennett placed the phone on the coffee table. "Give Olivia Carter a little space." "What if space becomes goodbye?" "Don't assume the worst." "I'm trying." "You've trusted Olivia Carter for 3 years." "I still do." "Then wait." "I hate waiting." "I know." Silence filled the room. Finally, Noah Bennett stood. "Call anytime." "I appreciate that." "No matter what happens, don't face this alone." "I won't." After Noah Bennett left, I opened our wedding planner. Every page carried dreams. Every note carried hope. Every date suddenly felt uncertain. I whispered to myself, "This can't be the ending." Deep inside, fear quietly answered before hope could. 3 days passed without another message. I tried focusing on work, but every notification made my heart race. Every silence hurt more than an argument ever could. I wanted one honest conversation. Instead, I received nothing. Friday evening arrived. I sat on my couch with a cup of coffee and opened social media, hoping to distract myself for a few minutes. The first photo made my stomach drop. Olivia Carter stood in a white wedding dress. The second photo showed Mason Reed smiling beside Olivia Carter. The third photo showed both hands wearing matching wedding rings. Professional lights, beautiful flowers, happy faces. A caption below the pictures read, Asterisk, "Forever starts today." Asterisk. My hand started shaking. My coffee slipped on the floor. I could barely breathe. No. I refreshed the page. The same photographs appeared again. This isn't real. I searched Mason Reed's profile. More wedding pictures. More congratulations. More smiling faces. Every image felt like another knife. I grabbed my phone and called Olivia Carter. The call ended after one ring. I called again. Blocked. I sent one message through another app. Asterisk why? Asterisk. Nothing. Another message. Asterisk. 3 years deserved one honest answer. Asterisk. No reply. My phone rang. Grace Brooks. Are you okay? I don't know. What happened? Look at Olivia Carter's social media. A long silence followed. Oh my God. I wasn't even worth a goodbye. I'm coming over. You don't have to. I already grabbed my keys. 20 minutes later, Grace Brooks walked inside. Without saying a word, Grace Brooks hugged me. I couldn't hold my emotions anymore. I trusted Olivia Carter. I know. I believed every promise. I know. I keep asking what I missed. You didn't cause this. Then why does everything feel like my fault? Because betrayal always makes good people question themselves. Another knock echoed through the apartment. Noah Bennett entered. Grace Brooks quietly showed the wedding photographs. Noah Bennett stared at the screen. I never expected this. Neither did I. Noah Bennett looked at me. Did anybody know about Mason Reed? Never. No rumors? Nothing. This was planned. I can see that now. Anger slowly replaced the shock inside my chest. I want answers. You deserve answers, Noah Bennett replied. I want Olivia Carter to explain everything. You may never receive an explanation. I can't accept that. You don't have to accept betrayal. What should I do? Don't destroy your future because somebody else destroyed trust. Grace Brooks nodded. Noah Bennett is right. I feel empty. That feeling won't last forever. It feels permanent. It isn't. I looked at another wedding picture. I don't recognize Olivia Carter anymore. Maybe the real Olivia Carter stayed hidden. Noah Bennett answered quietly. Those words hurt because they sounded true. I stood near the window. The city lights looked exactly the same. Cars continued moving. People continued laughing outside. The world refused to stop, even though my future had just collapsed. I closed every wedding photo. I deleted nothing. Pain deserved to be remembered until healing became stronger than heartbreak. I took a slow breath. I can't control Olivia Carter's choices. Grace Brooks squeezed my shoulder. No, I can't erase today. No, but I can decide what happens next. Noah Bennett gave a small nod. That's the first step. Tears still filled my eyes, but another feeling quietly appeared beneath the pain. Determination. I won't let betrayal become the rest of my story. Nobody spoke. Nobody needed to. For the first time since reading that terrible message, I understood one simple truth. My heart was broken, but my life was not over. The promise I made to myself after seeing those wedding photos refused to leave my mind. I wanted answers, but I refused to destroy myself chasing somebody who had already walked away. The next morning, Noah Bennett called. Meet me at the coffee shop. Did something happen? I found something. Don't ask over the phone. I'll be there. 20 minutes later, I sat across from Noah Bennett. You barely slept again, Noah Bennett said. I keep replaying everything. That's normal. No, it isn't. Nothing about this feels normal. Noah Bennett slid a small notebook across the table. I wrote down every date you told me. I looked at the pages. What am I supposed to see? Look at the weekends Olivia Carter canceled. I read each date carefully. Our anniversary dinner. Yes. The lake trip. Canceled. My birthday weekend. Canceled too. A cold feeling spread through my chest. I thought work caused all those changes. So did you. So did everybody. Noah Bennett leaned forward. I asked a friend who works near Mason Reed's office. You investigated already? I wanted facts before opinions. What did your friend find? Mason Reed and Olivia Carter were seen together almost every Friday for months. I couldn't speak. No mistake. No mistake. I lowered my eyes. I kept defending Olivia Carter. That doesn't make you foolish. It makes me blind. It makes you loyal. Those words should have comforted me, but the truth hurt too much. After leaving the cafe, I drove to Grace Brooks' apartment. Grace Brooks opened the door immediately. I guess you were coming. You knew. I saw your face yesterday. I step inside. I need every strange thing you remember. Grace Brooks nodded slowly. I didn't want to make you suspicious before. Tell me now. About 8 months ago, Olivia Carter suddenly stopped talking about wedding plans. I noticed that. Another time, Olivia Carter left family dinner because of an emergency meeting. I remember. I checked social media later that night. What did you see? Olivia Carter wasn't at work. I stared at Grace Brooks. Where was Olivia Carter? At a charity event. With Mason Reed? I didn't know the name then. Grace Brooks handed me an old screenshot. The picture showed Olivia Carter smiling beside several guests. One face immediately caught my attention. Mason Reed. Both stood close together. Too close. I can't believe I never saw this. You trusted Olivia Carter. I trusted every word. Grace Brooks reached across the table. Don't blame yourself for somebody else's lies. I nodded, but my heart refused to listen. Every memory I once treasured suddenly carried another question. Every happy moment now felt connected to another hidden secret. That night, I spread my bank statements, old messages, and our wedding folder across my kitchen table. Noah Bennett arrived with a laptop. Ready? No. Good. Honest answers usually begin there. Noah Bennett opened a spreadsheet. Look at these charges. I frowned. Hotel reservations? 3 of them. I never booked hotels. The card ending in 4412 paid for them. That was the shared wedding account. Yes. My stomach twisted. So my money helped pay for secret trips? It appears that way. I rubbed my forehead. Keep going. See these dates. I compared them with my calendar. I was visiting my parents. And Olivia Carter said a marketing conference required travel. I even wished Olivia Carter good luck. You did. Silence filled the room. I opened old messages. Listen to this, I whispered. Olivia Carter wrote, I can't wait to marry you. What date? 10 months ago. Noah Bennett checked another document. Mason Reed and Olivia Carter attended a resort fundraiser that same weekend. My hand started shaking again. So every sweet message came while another relationship already existed. That's what the timeline shows. I wanted to throw the phone across the room, but I set it down carefully instead. Grace Brooks called. Any updates? Too many. What did you find? Hotels, fake conferences, hidden weekends. Grace Brooks sighed. I remembered one more thing. I'm listening. Olivia Carter asked me whether you had life insurance. I froze. When? About 6 months ago. What answer did you give? I told Olivia Carter I had no idea. Why would that question even matter? I didn't understand then. After the call ended, I stared at the dark window. I can confront Olivia Carter tonight. You could, Noah Bennett replied. Or I can disappear and never speak another word. You could do that too. What would you do? I would choose truth over impulse. I took a long breath. This wasn't confusion. No. This wasn't fear. No. This was planning. Yes. I closed the wedding folder. I finally understand. What? Olivia Carter didn't accidentally lose me. Olivia Carter deliberately replaced me.
3 weeks passed before I finally accepted one painful truth. No answer from Olivia Carter could repair what had already been destroyed. Every question kept me trapped in the past, and I refused to spend the rest of my life waiting for an apology that would never change anything. One afternoon, Noah Bennett called. Are you free? For what? I want you to meet someone. I'm not looking for therapy. You aren't getting therapy. Then what? An opportunity. I sighed. I'll come. An hour later, Noah Bennett introduced me to Daniel Foster inside a modern office overlooking downtown Seattle. Daniel Foster smiled and offered a handshake. Noah Bennett has told me a lot about you. I hope only the good parts. Daniel Foster laughed. Mostly your work ethic. I've tried my best. I looked at your previous software projects. You did? Everyone. I felt surprised. Why? Because I need someone who solves problems instead of creating excuses. I've had enough excuses to last a lifetime. Daniel Foster nodded. Noah Bennett also told me you've been through something difficult. I have. I'm not interested in the details. I looked confused. You're not? No. Most people ask questions. I care more about where you're going than where you've been. Those words stayed with me. Daniel Foster opened a folder. I want you to lead a small development team for a new technology project. I blinked. You're offering me a job after one conversation? I'm offering you a chance. What if I fail? Daniel Foster leaned back. Failure doesn't scare me. What does? People who stop trying. For the first time in weeks, I smiled. I haven't stopped trying. I can see that. I accepted the offer before fear could change my mind. That evening, I met Grace Brooks for dinner. You look different, Grace Brooks said. Better or worse? Better. I started working again. I knew work would help. Daniel Foster believes in me. Do you believe in yourself? I thought carefully before answering. I'm starting to. Grace Brooks raised a glass. That's worth celebrating. The following weeks became a new routine. I woke before sunrise. I spent an hour at the gym. I worked until evening. Every completed project gave me another reason to keep moving forward. Every workout reminded me that strength could return little by little. The pain never disappeared completely, but the pain slowly stopped controlling every decision. One night, I opened my social media account for the first time in weeks. A notification appeared immediately. Olivia Carter viewed your profile. I stared at the screen for several seconds. Then I quietly locked my phone and walked away. Some doors deserve to stay closed. The next morning, I reached the office before everyone else. Daniel Foster walked in with 2 cups of coffee. You're early. I wanted a head start. I expected that. Daniel Foster handed me a cup. How does the project feel? Challenging? Good. I haven't felt excited about work in a long time. That's changing. It is. Daniel Foster smiled. Keep that feeling. The weeks turned into months. Our team completed every deadline. Clients started requesting me by name. Daniel Foster trusted me with larger projects, and my confidence grew with every success. One afternoon, Noah Bennett stopped by my office. I brought good news. What happened? I heard something about Mason Reed. I leaned back. I'm listening. Mason Reed's company is losing investors. Are you sure? Several contracts were canceled. What caused it? Poor business decisions and broken promises. I stayed quiet. Aren't you happy? Noah Bennett asked. I don't feel happy. Why not? I spent too much time thinking revenge would heal me. And now? I'd rather build my future than celebrate somebody else's problems. Noah Bennett smiled. That's the strongest answer I've heard from you. A few days later, I posted a picture after finishing a charity marathon with my coworkers. The caption was simple: grateful for new beginnings. Within minutes, another notification appeared. Olivia Carter liked your post. Later that evening, another notification arrived. Olivia Carter viewed your story. I stared at the screen. The old version of me would have checked every profile update. The old version of me would have searched for hidden meaning. Not anymore. I pressed my phone's power button and slipped it into my pocket. Grace Brooks called during dinner. Busy? Not anymore. I saw your marathon picture. My legs still hurt. Grace Brooks laughed. You also look happier. I finally feel like myself again. I'm proud of you. Thank you. Did you notice Olivia Carter watching everything? I noticed. Will you answer? No. Not even one message if one arrives. No. Why? Because silence protects the peace I fought to rebuild. Grace Brooks became quiet. I like hearing that. So do I. That night, I stood on my apartment balcony, watching the city lights stretch across the skyline. Months earlier, I believed my life had ended with one heartbreaking message. Now, I understood something completely different. The strongest revenge was never chasing the past. The strongest revenge was becoming the person betrayal failed to destroy. For the first time since everything fell apart, I smiled without forcing it, and I knew the balance had finally begun to change in my favor. Nearly 8 months had passed since my world collapsed. I no longer counted the days since the betrayal. I counted completed projects, early mornings, and peaceful nights instead. One Saturday morning, Noah Bennett called. Busy? Just finished the gym. I have news. What happened? You should sit down. I already am. Mason Reed is facing 2 lawsuits. I stayed quiet. Still there? I'm listening. Several investors claim Mason Reed used misleading financial reports. Is it true? The evidence looks serious. What about Olivia Carter? I heard the house is for sale. I closed my eyes for a moment. So everything changed. It did. I don't feel happy. You don't sound surprised either. I learned that karma doesn't need my help. Noah Bennett laughed softly. I was hoping you'd say something like that. That afternoon, Grace Brooks invited me to lunch. I have something to tell you. What happened? I ran into Olivia Carter yesterday. I looked up immediately. Where? A coffee shop downtown. How did Olivia Carter look? Tired. Anything else? Scared. Grace Brooks stirred a cup of coffee before continuing. Olivia Carter barely recognized me. What did Olivia Carter say? Grace Brooks, can we talk for a minute? What did you answer? Sure. Grace Brooks took a slow breath. Olivia Carter kept staring at the table. Did Olivia Carter ask about me? Yes. What exactly? How is Ethan Brooks doing? I smiled sadly. Interesting. I answered honestly. What did you say? Ethan Brooks finally looks happy again. Grace Brooks watched my reaction. Olivia Carter started crying. I remained silent. Then Olivia Carter whispered something. What? I destroyed the best thing that ever happened to me. I looked out the restaurant window. Months earlier, those words would have felt like victory. Now they only felt heavy. Grace Brooks reached across the table. I wasn't trying to hurt you. I know. I just thought you deserved the truth. I appreciate that. My phone vibrated before I could finish lunch. An unknown number appeared. I almost ignored the call. Instead, I answered. Hello? A familiar voice spoke quietly. It's Olivia Carter. Every sound inside the restaurant seemed to disappear. I know I don't deserve your time. I didn't answer. I need one conversation. What about? Everything. I don't think that's a good idea. Please. Silence stretched between us. Finally, I spoke. One meeting. Thank you. Tomorrow, I'll be there. The call ended. Grace Brooks looked at me. Was that Olivia Carter? Yes. Are you sure about this? I don't know. Then why agree? Because I want peace. Grace Brooks nodded slowly. I hope tomorrow gives you exactly that. The next afternoon, I arrived at a quiet park a few minutes early. I chose a bench beneath a tall maple tree and watched families walk along the path. My heartbeat stayed calm. Months ago, I would have arrived with anger. Today, I arrived with questions that no longer controlled my life. A few minutes later, Olivia Carter walked toward me. I almost thought you wouldn't come. I almost didn't. Thank you for coming anyway. I nodded. What did you want to say? Olivia Carter looked down before speaking. I made the biggest mistake of my life. I stayed silent. I thought money would solve everything. I listened. I thought status would make me feel secure. I folded my hands. I was afraid. Afraid of what? Afraid our future would never become successful enough. You never told me that. I know. You let fear speak instead of honesty. Yes. You let greed become stronger than love. Tears filled Olivia Carter's eyes. Yes. You asked for time while planning a wedding. I did. You looked into my eyes and promised forever. I remember. You broke every promise. I know. Olivia Carter wiped away tears. I hate the person I became. I believe you. You do? Yes. Hope briefly appeared on Olivia Carter's face. But believing your regret doesn't change my decision. The hope disappeared. I know I don't deserve another chance. No. I just wanted forgiveness. I took a slow breath. I forgave you months ago. You did? I forgave you because I refused to carry bitterness forever. Tears rolled down Olivia Carter's cheeks again. Does forgiveness mean we can start over? I gently shook my head. No. Why? Because forgiveness heals my heart. Trust protects my future. Olivia Carter covered a trembling face. I lost everything. You lost my trust long before you lost your lifestyle. I would change everything if I could. I believe that too. Then please. I stood from the bench. The past cannot become the future. Olivia Carter looked at me one last time. I'll regret this forever. That's something only you can carry. I offered a small, respectful nod before turning away. I never looked back. Every step felt lighter than the one before. For the first time since the betrayal, I realized closure wasn't something another person could give me. Closure came from choosing peace over pain. As I walked toward the parking lot, I understood that the opportunity Olivia Carter had thrown away would never return, and I finally felt completely free. 2 weeks after meeting Olivia Carter for the last time, I stopped replaying old memories before falling asleep. Peace no longer felt impossible. Peace finally felt normal. One Monday morning, Daniel Foster knocked on my office door. Got a minute? Always. Daniel Foster closed the door and placed a folder on my desk. I've been watching your progress. I hope that's good news. It is. Daniel Foster smiled. I didn't hire you just to manage projects. You didn't? No. I looked at the folder. Then why am I here? Open it. Inside rested several legal documents. I frowned. I don't understand. I want you to become my business partner. I looked at Daniel Foster in disbelief. You're serious? Completely. Why me? Because talent matters. I nodded. Thank you. But character matters even more. Those words meant more than any salary. I don't know what to say. Say yes if you're ready. I laughed for the first time in days. Yes. Daniel Foster extended a hand. Welcome, partner. I shook Daniel Foster's hand firmly. I won't disappoint you. I know. That evening, Noah Bennett invited me to dinner. I heard the news. Daniel Foster works fast. So do rumors. Noah Bennett raised a glass. To new beginnings. To better choices. You earned this. I almost lost myself after everything happened. But you didn't. I came close. You kept walking. I had good people beside me. Noah Bennett smiled. Never forget that. A month later, our company sponsored a local charity event supporting children who wanted to learn computer programming. Daniel Foster introduced me to several community leaders before stopping near the media table. I want you to meet someone. A woman carrying a camera smiled politely. Hello, I'm Emily Parker. I'm Ethan Brooks. Daniel Foster speaks highly of you. I hope Daniel Foster didn't exaggerate. Emily Parker laughed. Not at all. Daniel Foster checked a ringing phone. I need to take this. Daniel Foster walked away, leaving both of us standing together. Emily Parker looked around the crowded hall. So, first charity event? My first as a sponsor. How does it feel? Better than I expected. Why? Helping somebody else reminds me life isn't only about personal problems. Emily Parker nodded. I like that answer. What about you? I cover community stories. Not celebrity gossip? Emily Parker smiled again. I prefer real people. I couldn't help smiling back. The conversation felt easy. No pressure. No pretending. Just two strangers talking honestly. For the first time in a long while, meeting someone new didn't remind me of everything I had lost. Instead, the moment quietly reminded me that life still had room for unexpected beginnings. The charity event ended later than expected, but Emily Parker and I stayed near the entrance for another few minutes. I enjoyed talking with you, Emily Parker said. I enjoyed the conversation too. I hope our paths cross again. I hope so. Emily Parker smiled. I'm usually covering local events. I'll probably attend more of them. Then we'll meet again. That sounds nice. Emily Parker waved before walking toward the parking lot. I watched the moment quietly, feeling something I had not experienced in a long time. Hope. Not romantic hope. Just hope that honest people still existed. The following weeks became even busier. Daniel Foster trusted me with important business meetings. New clients signed long-term contracts. Our company expanded faster than anyone expected. One afternoon, Noah Bennett stopped by my office. Have you seen today's business news? No. What's happening? Mason Reed is everywhere. I opened the article. Several headlines describe financial investigations, failed investments, and public lawsuits. I closed the page after a few seconds. That's enough. You don't want to read more? No. Aren't you curious? I already know the ending. What ending? Broken choices always create broken consequences. Noah Bennett smiled. You've changed. I finally understand something. What? My success isn't connected to Mason Reed's failure. Exactly. Later that evening, Grace Brooks called. I have another update. I'm listening. Olivia Carter left Mason Reed. I stayed silent. Nothing to say? I hope both find peace someday. Grace Brooks laughed softly. That's kinder than I expected. Holding anger became exhausting. I can hear the difference. So can I. A few days later, Emily Parker sent a short message. Congratulations on your company's education program. I replied, thank you. The children deserve every opportunity. Stop. Another message appeared. Coffee after next week's fundraiser? I smiled. I'd like that. Sal. The conversation felt natural because neither of us tried to rush anything. Emily Parker never asked painful questions. Emily Parker never treated me like someone who needed to be rescued. Instead, every conversation focused on today instead of yesterday. That simple difference meant everything. One evening, I stood inside my office, looking across the city skyline through the glass windows. Months earlier, I believed success would prove Olivia Carter wrong. Now I understood how mistaken that idea had been. Success never existed to impress the person who walked away. Success existed to honor the person who refused to give up. I smiled quietly before turning off the office lights. For the first time in years, my future belonged completely to me, and that victory felt greater than any revenge I had ever imagined. Nearly 2 years had passed since the day my future shattered. Looking back no longer filled me with anger. Looking back reminded me how much one painful choice had changed my life for the better. One quiet Saturday morning, I found an envelope inside my mailbox. No return address. Only my name written across the front. I carried the letter upstairs and placed it on my kitchen table. Emily Parker looked at the envelope. Are you going to open it? I think I should. You don't have to read anything that steals your peace. I know. I slowly opened the envelope. A familiar handwriting covered every page. Olivia Carter. I took a deep breath and began reading. I don't expect forgiveness because I already received more kindness than I deserved. See. I stayed silent. Every day reminds me of the life I threw away. Emily Parker waited quietly. Fear controlled every decision. Greed made every excuse sound reasonable. Pride kept me from admitting the truth until everything was gone. I turned another page. Watching your success forced me to understand what I truly lost. Stop. My eyes continued moving across the letter. Money disappeared. Status disappeared. Friends disappeared. Regret never disappeared. Stop! Emily Parker gently asked, How are you feeling? Calm. Really? I expected this letter someday. I finished reading the final paragraph. If life ever gives another chance, I would spend every day proving I learned from my mistakes. Sal. The letter ended with 2 simple words. I'm sorry. Stop. Emily Parker reached across the table. You don't have to answer. I won't. Any anger? No. Any sadness? A little. What kind of sadness? The kind that comes from remembering someone I thought I knew. Emily Parker nodded. That makes sense. I walked toward the living room cabinet and removed a small wooden memory box. Emily Parker watched quietly. Inside rested old photographs, a restaurant receipt from our first date, and the engagement ring I never returned. I folded the handwritten letter carefully. Emily Parker asked softly, "Are you keeping it?" "Yes." "Why?" "Because forgetting isn't healing." I placed the letter beside the engagement ring before closing the lid. Remembering without pain is the real victory. Emily Parker smiled. "I think you've finally reached that place." For the first time, I believed those words completely. A few days later, Emily Parker and I walked through the same park where I had once said goodbye to the past. The trees had changed with the seasons, but my heart had changed even more. Emily Parker smiled. "You've been quiet." "I've been thinking." "About the letter?" "A little." "What else?" "About everything that happened." Emily Parker squeezed my hand. "Any regrets?" "Only one." "What is it?" "I wish I had believed in my own value sooner." Emily Parker nodded. "Many people learn that lesson too late." "I'm grateful I finally learned it." "So am I." We stopped near the lake. "I used to believe revenge would make me whole." "And now?" "I know. Peace comes from growth, not payback." Emily Parker smiled. "That's the person I was hoping to meet." I almost became someone filled with bitterness. "But you didn't." "I had people who refused to let me fall." Noah Bennett. Yes. Grace Brooks. Always. Daniel Foster. Every step. Emily Parker laughed softly. "You built a good family around yourself." "I really did." A message appeared on my phone. Noah Bennett. "Dinner tonight. Everyone is waiting." I smiled. "Good news?" "The best kind." "What is it?" "Home." Emily Parker smiled. "I like the sound of that." "So do I." That evening, we gathered around one table, sharing stories, laughter, and plans for the future. Nobody mentioned betrayal, because betrayal no longer deserved the center of my life. While driving home, I looked at the city lights and remembered the broken man who once believed everything was over. I quietly thanked that version of myself for refusing to surrender. Without that painful journey, I would never have discovered my own strength. I glanced at Emily Parker. "Thank you." "For what?" "For walking beside me instead of trying to pull me forward." Emily Parker smiled. "Real trust grows one step at a time." "It does." I realized my greatest victory had never been watching Olivia Carter lose everything. My greatest victory was refusing to lose myself. The past would always remain part of my story, but the past would never control another chapter. I drove toward tomorrow with confidence instead of fear, carrying hope instead of resentment. At that moment, I finally understood one truth that would stay with me forever. Sometimes the greatest victory is refusing to become the person betrayal tried to create.